Yeah, a very fine good evening, students. Today we will see about the basic use state. So use state is a variable. Normally there are two basic activity. One which is called as stateful activity, another one which is called as stateless activity. Actually, class is a stateful activity. So class which maintain a state, but in function which will not have a state. For achieving the state, here there is a method called as use state of. With the help of use state, we will achieve something called as state maintenance. So to achieve stateful activity in a function, we will use state method. So initially, we will create a new project. So open a command prompt, new React project. So open a command prompt and then entering into our folder. So cd space dot dot, again cd dot dot. Then we'll enter into cd react for our folder. Then we'll create a new app. So npx, so create hyphen react hyphen app. So the name of the app, which is called as, we will name it as something button action. So button hyphen action. So npx create hyphen react hyphen app. So the name of the app, which is called as button hyphen action. So the new React app which was created. So please wait for a few more seconds. And press enter, and then now code space dot, which will open the code in Visual Code. Now I will go to the command prompt and type npm start for start the service. Yes, so the entire process was running. Now I'm entering into my Visual Code IDE. So open app.js. And then I will remove the entire header options. So now I will type test for testing activity. Save the file and view the browser. Just wait for a few more seconds. Yeah, test was printed. So now my app was ready. Now I will create a new component. So in the Explorer window, I will right click on SRC folder, Visual Code IDE. I will right click on SRC folder and then new file. So I will create this file, which is named as something called as something which will be name the component as action component. So action.js. Name the component as action.js. So press enter. Now the app component, the action component which will open. I will type imrc, then press enter. So the entire import component, sorry, something import React as well as component was imported. So the needed thing was imported. Class. So initially the component was imported. Now I are creating a class. The class name of the class is action, A caps. So it's a class name. So first letter was caps. So action. So extends. React dot r caps dot component. Then open a curly brace. Then at the end, you will type, we are export this app. So export, yes, export class, the name of the class name, something called as action. So not class, export default action. So there is a error. So export default action. So yes, now everything works fine. Now the entire action was ready. Now I will create the render function here. So render of, open a curly brace. Inside that return, open bracket, enter, and then last semicolon. Yes, inside that you will type something. Inside div tag, inside div tag, something. You will type test action. Save the file. Now we will check the component, whether the component is working or not. So you will go to app.js and then remove the test and add the component. The name of the component of action. So less than action. A caps action. Choose that component. Yes. Yes. Greater than. Yes, good. Save the file. Now refresh the browser. So yes, test action. So initially I will create a app.js file. So inside that I will remove the content and I will create a new file which is called action.js. Inside that I will create a class component and then render activity and then return. Now I will create a simple button inside my action class. So I will open action.js. Inside that I will create a button. So a normal button activity. So less than button, greater than, less than. Yes. Now save the file and verify the browser. Yes, the button was placed. So now which display the button. I will name the button as click me. I will name the button as click me. So in yes, click me. Yes, save the file and yes, good. And yes, now the button was ready. Now the button was ready. Now I will perform the basic activity, very, very basic activity. So for printing the content in a console. So whenever the button was clicked, I will print some content. So I will write the action. So button on click off. Inside that function, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis function, which tends to not function. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis, then tends to after yes, tends to. Then I will call a method. I will call a method. The method named as on add of, add of, add open parenthesis, close parenthesis. So I will call the method on add of. So before render, I will write the method on add of, on add of. I will print some message. Console.log. I will print some message. Console.log. Add clicked. Add was clicked. Double quotes. Add was clicked. Now I will save the file and then verify the browser. I think error on line number 9. Okay, fine. So this dot on add of. Yes. Now open a console. Control Shift J and click again. Yes. So button was clicked. So whenever you will press the button was clicked. So something, it works fine. So the entire things which works fine. I will create a state. Now I will create a state. So state, this is a stateful activity. So I will create a state. In the first line, I think line number 3, I will add a new. I will create a state. So state equal to, so this is a use state activity. It's a stateful activity. So class, by default, a class having state. So state equal to open curly brace, close curly brace. Inside that, I will create a new variable. The variable named as button action. Button action. A caps action. Colon. Button action. Colon. So I will create a variable. The variable is empty. Double quotes. Then semicolon. At the end, after curly brace, semicolon. So now I will create a stateful activity. So state variable. Initially, the state variable button action equal to empty. So I will print that state variable in my inside div tag. So div/div, I will use a paragraph tag. I will create a paragraph tag. So this is a basic activity. So here I am creating a button on click of equal to this dot on add of. So whenever you click the button, which will call the method on add of. So console.print add was clicked. So this was fine. So now I will create a stateful activity. So state equal to button action colon empty. So button action is empty. Then it will print the button action inside that. Whenever I will click the button, it's a stateful activity. So an add of, I will type in line number 4. After line number 4, I will type. After line number 4, I will type whatever needed. The needed thing was I will set the state. This dot set state of. This dot set state of state escapes and this dot set state of open parenthesis, close parenthesis, open curly brace, close curly brace. Inside that, a button pressed colon, button action colon, double quotes. I will type the method called as click me was pressed. Click me was pressed. Now save the file and refresh the browser. Yes, whenever I will click the button, the state was maintained. Whenever I will click the button, the state was maintained. Now I will create another button, copy paste the same. I will create another button. Then an odd I will remove it on update of. I will copy paste the method on update of. I will copy paste on add, entire on add, and paste it as on update of. So I will change click me was pressed. Here update was pressed. So I will change the button name as update. Now I will save the file and refresh the browser. Now I will click me and click me was pressed. I will click update. So update was pressed. So automatically the responsiveness was added based on state. So this is the use of state variable. So whenever the button one clicked, it will change it into different. Button two clicked, the content was clear and changed. So this it's a complete stateful activity. So normally a class and object, the object-oriented programming language, which allows these kind of activity, but a function-based activity which will not allow. So now I will create a function. For achieving this, the use state and hook was used. So now I will entering into, I will create a new function. So right click on SRC folder. I will create the function which is named as action function, FUN, action function .js. Action function.js. So here I will create a function. So IMRC. So imported. Then I will create a function FUNCTION function. The name of the function as action function A caps. Anyway, A small. It's also no problem. Your wish. Action function FUN. Action FUN. So open curly brace, close curly brace. Inside that return, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and then semicolon. So div tag. So inside that paragraph, something I will print test. Save the file. And then I will call the method inside app.js. So action FUN. Call that component action FUN. I think A small. Okay, A caps. Okay, no issue. Save the file and test the browser. Default action function. I think A small. Otherwise, now A small was changed. So save the file and compile it again. I think stop the npm start, and then start it again. I think again error. So entering into the code, I think here the component is not needed. So enter the code. I think line number action function.js. Open that program action function.js and then remove the line number 1 because this is needed for class only. Save the file and now open the browser and verify the same. Similar way, remove the open the command prompt for verifying error. Whether it displays any error in the console, browser console. I think change into uppercase letter. Action function, A caps. Save the file. Yes, the entire thing works fine. So click me. Yes, update. Yes. So now for achieving state inside this action function, so you're entering into action function. So I will create a state variable. The state variable, before entering into state variable, I will explain a state variable. So I will create a variable, something let. I will create a variable let a equal to square bracket 1, 2, 3. So I will create an array and store the variable as 1, 2, 3. Then console.log a. Then save the file. Now verify the same in a browser. So it will print, verify the same, expand the same. So there are 3 datas. The 0th index which placed 1, the first index which placed 2, the second index which placed 3. So this is a normal way of creating array in React.js. So I will destructure it. So I will destructure it. So please entering into the Visual Code IDE. I will destructure the same. So let square bracket, let square bracket A, B, C, A, comma, B, comma, C. Yes. Now I will save the file. So A which mapped with 1, B which mapped with 2, C which mapped with 3. So same way. Now save the file. So refresh the browser. Yes. So which will print 1. If you print B, which will print 2. So this is the way of destructuring was done. This is the way for destructuring was done. For with the help of the destructuring method, I will use useState. So now I am entering into useState variable. So please open the Visual Code IDE. Then I will create a useState variable. So in the top line number, yes, okay. I will create a variable constant const state equal to useState of. So it automatically imported. Then I will print the useState const useState of. Yes, package. I think package was imported. Verify the same. If not imported, press Control space to import a package. Yes, the package was imported. Now use state of, I will print something, the text as 10. I will print console.log state, console.log state. Save the file and refresh the browser. View the console. So it will create a state variable. The state variable in the form of the value comma function. Normally the state variable which is in the form of value comma function. So value is 10, function is f. Value is 10, function is f. So it created like this. So now I will create another state variable constant. So which is in array. So state variable in array. So I will destructure it in a different format. So next line, constant square bracket. I will destructure it. Constant square bracket count comma set count. So count is a variable, set count is a method. Set count equal to use state of 0. So initialize it to 0. So now initially count is 0. Whenever you need to increase a count, you will use set count method. This is a state activity. So whenever button click, I will create a button in line number 12. Okay. After paragraph tag, I will create a button. I will create a button. Button on click equal to yes, inside parenthesis tends to set count of count plus 1. So whenever I will click the button, the count which will be increased by 1. So inside paragraph tag, I will print count. Open curly brace, close curly brace, count. Remove test, and then open curly brace, close curly brace, count. Save the file. Now view the browser. Now click the button. Yes, good. So whenever achieving state activity in a function, you will use state method. So use state method, which is an array of thing. One is a value, another one is a method. So using that method, you can set the value to the variable. So this is a way of use hook as well as use state. It's such. So this is a new concept which is in JavaScript. So JavaScript will support both class-based and function-based method. In the function-based method, you will achieve use state activity. You can use this use state method. So set count as well as count variable. So this what the basic use state and use hook activity. Thank you, students.